So it's either going to be A or C. And then we're going to do the other one, 0.6 divided by 0.70. This one equals 0.80 molar iodine. That's odd. Oh, yeah. This should be 2.5. 2.5. I was just thinking about the last problem. So 0.2 divided by 0.725. This will actually be 0.276. That. And the other one, 0.6 divided by 0.725. 0.828. That's what had me questioning that. A. Okay. If I was to look for the iron would have been a 1-to-1 ratio, so it still would be 2.2. Okay. What volume? Okay, so I want milliliters of sodium hydroxide solution. And this molarity is 6.00 moles per liter of NaOH solution. And okay, when I start looking this, I see that I have two molarities. So I can start using just M1V1 equals M2V2. Okay, so this is M1, and I don't really have to break it down to moles per liter. This will be V1, and then 200 milliliters is V2, and then 1.50 M is M2. So using M1 times V1, which always gives you number of moles of solute, equals M2 times V2, which is the same number of moles of solute, which doesn't change in a dilution. So what I'm after is I'm after V1. So V1 will equal, divide both sides by M1. M2 V2 divided by M1. Just plug my numbers in. I get molarity 1 was 1.50 M. V1 was 200. Divide that by 6. And now what you can see is you don't have to define molarity because you're not really using it as a conversion factor. And the big M will just cancel out. You don't have to convert milliliters to liters. Because if I put milliliters in, I get milliliters out. So 1.5 times 2 divided by 6 is 0.5. And the answer will be milliliters. And let's go through that again. 1.5 times 200 divided by 1.6. Sorry, I plug in 0.2 instead of 200. It'll be 50. It's 0.0. The answer is B. Okay. Here's the word diluted. I have volume 1. I have volume 2. Okay. Giving a concentration, and this will be molarity 2. So what I want to know is what was the original molarity that I did this to. Okay, again, this one's going to start off with M1V1 equals M2V2. What I'm looking to do is to solve for M1. Last time I solved for V1. Divide both sides by V1. Solves for M1. Now I just plug in my numbers. And the important thing here is that you realize that this volume, the 4 liters, is associated with 0.04, that this concentration goes with that molarity. That's the only mistake you can make in these. Make sure you're matching them up. This 0.4 goes with this original molarity. Okay, so what I got is I got 0.04 molar, that's M2, 4 liters V2 divided by V1, 0.400. The liters cancels out, and again, you plug a molarity in, you get a molarity out. So I don't have to mess with the units by defining them. And the answer I get is 0.400 big M. A. Alright. 17. I look at it and I see that I have 2 molarities. I have M1 and I have M2. That word of means this volume is with this molarity. So if you see the word of that means they're together. So this acid 0.15 M1 goes with this volume V1. So we want to know what V1 is. That's what we're after. So again, we're going with M1 V1 equals M2 V2. Solving for V1, we're going to divide by M1. Very simple math. And then we're going to plug in 2.5 M, and then volume is 300, and then divide that by 15.0 big M. So I get 2.5 times 300 divided by 15, and you get 50. And a unit is milliliters, so the unit answer is B. You could use dimensional analysis on these, but in this case, M1 V1 M2 V2 is actually simpler. I would show you how to, if I looked at this problem and I said, okay, I have 300 milliliters, okay, of 2.5 molar acid, I would then say molarity is defined as, and this is a case where I'll use millimoles per milliliter, that's an N, and I can say it's 2.5 to 1. So in my solution, I have 300 times 2.5, that's 750 millimoles of nitric acid, HNO3. Now as a second step, if I say take that 750 millimoles, which doesn't change, and convert it to milliliters by going millimole per milliliter, but this time your concentration is 15 to 1. Now I'm defining millimole per milliliter. That cancels out. So I get 750 divided by 15, and there's your answer, 50 milliliters. And that's how you could do these by dimensional analysis. It actually works. All right. I would say your test is going to look like worksheet number 1, worksheet number 2. Not so much the multiple choice. And that's the end of it. All right. Good luck. Make sure you study tomorrow. Tomorrow's Thursday. Test is going to be on Friday.